Hello and welcome, I'm Chris and this is the Hair Tutorial channel, and on this video I'm going to be showing you the latest craze, the wolf cut. A mashup between a mullet and a shag. This cut is absolutely everywhere. And if you've been watching TikTok, you've seen everybody doing it for themselves. So I'm going to show you a step-by-step quick way that you can do it in the salon, look professional and get great results. So we're starting with our model, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to put a center part on it. And this is where we're going to be working from for the whole of the front section. So as you can see, I've subdivided just by the ear, and for now we're just going to concentrate on the front of our haircut. So we're going to take a section about 1/2 inch either side of the parting as our first section. This is the most important section because for the whole of the front, this is going to be your guide section. So this is where we're going to determine the length that we want. Now if this section is too big for you, simply break the section down into something that's a little bit more manageable. And what we're going to do is we're going to over direct this section to the front, and we're going to bring our fingers straight. Now again, I'm in a bit of an awkward position because obviously I'm cutting it and I want the cameras to pick this up. If I was cutting this, I would probably actually stand in front and pull my fingers like that. Okay, so that's going to be our guide. So have a look at it. Remember, when you're drying this, it is going to spring up as well. And then obviously we're going to bring in our other section. Just take a piece from the front and again, just bring it in and follow the guide. Now I'm blunt cutting this, you could point cut it, you could razor it, it doesn't really matter. So now this point here is going to be our central pivot point. So what we're going to do is from that central point, we're not going to bring parallel sections, we're going to use this as our pivot point, and we're going to take forward diagonal sections towards the face. And then we're going to over direct this section back to our middle section and simply follow our guideline that we've already created in the hair. Once again, if you find these sections too big, you can break them down into more manageable sections. Okay, and once again, we're going to be taking from here a forward diagonal section towards the hairline, over directing it back to that center. Now you could over direct back to previous, but as you can see, we're already beginning to build up our arc shape and it's got a nice bit of texture already going through it. So just 2 more sections here. Again, from that center, come down. It becomes a steeper forward diagonal, but it is still a forward diagonal. So there you go. We've got our nice arc shape, we've got our layers, and we've got the movement around the front already. We've got a nice lot of texture. Very quick, very easy, very simple. And obviously now all we're going to do is repeat that on the opposite side. Okay, so there you go. We've got both our sides in, we've got a nice arced, and we've got a nice lot of movement as well coming around the front of our face. Now that already begins to look really nice and really good. But we need to do the back. You could see that actually if they've already got a bit of layer and texture in their hair, you really could just leave it disconnected, but I'm not. I'm going to blend it in and I'm going to show you how to do that. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to blend obviously the back into the front. So I'm going to take my parting and I'm going to come right the way down through the occipital bone through the back. And now all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring all of this forward and I'm going to connect it in to my layer. If it doesn't reach, then I'm not worried about it. So depending on how long your hair is, you can see it starts there. Again, just scooping that out. So now we've got a nice blend all the way through, and the same on the other side. Okay, nearly there. I told you this was very, very easy, very, very simple, which is probably again why so many people are actually doing it on TikToks themselves. I've seen some good ones, I've seen some bad ones. So now we're going to go back to our center, and we're just going to take a section from in front of the ear where we've already cut. Get all of that out of the way. And a section from just behind the ear. Now, if we pull this up, we should have a guide point from what we've already cut, which you can see is there. And we're simply going to follow that up. Now, depending on how sort of thick the hair is and what you want to do, but using this point as our pivot point again, we're simply going to work our way around. And I'm not over directing back to the previous section this time, just because I want to leave some weight, I want to leave some heaviness in that back. And once again, you could always point cut this, razor it, whatever you feel. So when I come to this last section, which is right on that part, I'll go to the other side. So as you can see, we're just creating the texture, leaving some weight, and again, exactly the same thing on the other side. A little bit from in front of the ear, a little bit from behind the ear, pull it up, find our guide, and that's it. That's all there is to this cut. Now obviously you're going to want to go through, you're going to want to check your fringe, see if it is short enough, texturize it a little bit more, if it's thicker hair, and obviously the drying of it. The drying of it is fantastic because we're back to this sort of leave it natural sort of dry with some curl, or dry it and put a bit of wave in it. There are some straight ones out there, but this is all sort of about that next morning look, like you've slept in it, but a more refined version of it. Okay, so I'm just going to dry this off and I'll show you the finished result. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget, hit that like button, and if you've got any comments, leave them in the box below and I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. And why not check out some of these other videos, including the color that I did on this block, and I'll link this coming up.